Hi, today we are going to go over the problem sets from the linear inequalities algebra tiles activity. So the first question was, which of these numbers satisfies the inequality x is greater than 1? So I've set that up, x is greater than 1. Really, you don't need algebra tiles for this. You could just think about it. So is 0 greater than 1? No. Is 1 greater than 1? No. 2 greater than 1? Yes. 3 greater than 1? Yes. 4 greater than 1? Yes. So there's the first one. The second one, which of these numbers satisfies x less than 2? So 0 is less than 2. 1 is less than 2. 2 is not less than 2. X is greater than 4. None of these numbers given in this set are greater than 4. Okay. Illustrated on the work mats below are simple steps to solve this inequality. Okay, and then it tells you the solution set options are this, so this is the answer for that. Then we get into where we're using the algebra tiles and the work mat. In your case, you may have needed to use the virtual algebra tiles. So, we're going to solve these. See if I can get all of this on the same page. Yeah. Okay, and we'll start with number 4. Yeah, right there. Okay. So x minus 3 is less than 2. So I would need to remove 3 negatives from each side, but I don't have that option because I don't have 3 negatives on this side. So instead of that, I'm going to add 3 positives, because if I do that, this makes 0 pairs, which I can then remove, and x is less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and this is my complete solution set. If I were just looking at the numbers here, that would be 6, 7, and 8. But we're just going to leave it like that. That's the way that it asks you to answer it in your problem set for today. Okay, number 5, x plus 2 is less than 4. So, at this point, I can remove 2 from each side, and that's going to isolate my variable, x less than 2. Now I've got 5 greater than x 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get these up so we can see it all. Okay. So I do have 4 that I can remove from each side. And that shows me that 1 is greater than x, or I like for the x to be on the left. So x is less than 1. These are the same. They're both correct. I feel like 6 is more of a, or this bottom one here is more of a standard form. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next one. We have 3 x's, 2 negatives, less than 1. So let's see, we would have right here, I don't have 2 negatives to take away. So what I'm going to need to do, instead of taking away 2 negatives, I would need to add 2 positives to each side. So these will make 0 pairs that I can then remove. Then I can separate or divide this into 3, so that each x has an equal number of tiles on the other side. Okay, so then if I just want to look at 1x is less than 1. So x less than 1. Alright, now I have 2x's plus 5. And what? Less than 3. So again, I do have, no, I don't have 5 that I can take away from each side. So let's see how we want to approach this. We could take 3 away from each side. Now this side's empty at the moment. I still need to take 2 away here, but I don't have 2 away to take, so I can add 2 negatives to each side because that will make these 0 pairs. And then I can cancel that, and I would have 2, and then I can divide that into 2 groups, and I have x is less than -1. There's another way I could have done that, but we'll leave it like that. Okay, so 2 greater than 4x's, 2, 3, 4x's, and then minus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives from each side, but I don't have that to do, so instead I'm just going to make 0 pairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm adding 6 positives here. I would also need to add 6 positives to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all I have. Let me remove these 0 pairs. And that gives me 6. Okay, so let's look at this again. So we've added 6 positives to each side. Okay, now we have 4 x's over here and 8 ones over here. So let's separate this into 4 groups. Divide by 4. Each group has 2 ones. So then to simplify it, I could say, okay, 2 is greater than an x. 2 is greater than x. Or, this is probably the preferred way, x is less than 2. X less than 2. Okay, so go ahead and work these others out. We have x minus 2 greater than 4. So I need to remove 2 negatives from each side. I don't have 2 negatives over here. So instead I'm going to add 2 positives to each side so that then I might remove these 0 pairs, and x is greater than 2, 4, 6. Alright, now I have 2 x's minus 1 is greater than -3. Oops. Okay, so I can remove a -1 from each side, and then I have 2 x's. I'll divide that into 2 groups, and each x is greater than -1. Ooh, 6 x's. Do I have 6 x's? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. Oh, that goes over here. 6 x's. Okay, then what? Minus 1, so -1. On the other side, I have 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I need to remove a negative 1 from each side. I don't have a negative 1 over here, so instead I will add a positive 1 to each side, because that gives me a 0 pair. I'll have to put that in there. Whoops. Okay, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I separate this into 6 groups, each x has 1. And I'll simplify that a little more. So the first way that I could represent this would be 1 is greater than x, or if I just kind of turn it over, x is less than 1. Sorry about that. So, let's see, explain the steps we used. So this is just for you to fill in and write the steps that you used.